Boom. We're ready. All right. Sorry, my cat was freaking out. He's I don't know what his problem is. He's freaking out. All right. So, well, I'm back able to live stream again. Obviously, I got banned for a couple months due to, copyright complaints from Toho. So that was no fun. Um, But yeah, now I'm back. I'm able to live stream again. Hopefully, we don't run into any more complaints. I was actually really worried last night. It popped up saying a couple of my videos had been removed, and I was really, really worried because if your videos get removed for copyright reasons, that means that you have just gotten a copyright strike. So the fact that I thought a couple videos got removed, I thought I got a couple copyright strikes, I thought I wasn't going to be able to live stream, and I was going to lose all these YouTube abilities. What it actually was, the videos got removed in America, but they're still up worldwide. So I'm all good there. I don't know, man. I gotta drink water. I'm thirsty already. Okay, so once I'll start out by thanking you guys for 9,000 subscribers. I know we're over 9,000. I'll check how much we're actually at right now. This channel's grown like a lot, guys. We didn't used to be a bigger channel, but it seems recently our channel's kind of just skyrocketed. It feels like. So I really have to thank you guys for all the support. 9,334 subscribers. That's incredible. Thank you guys so much. Might as well tweet out the stream, right? Just waste more of you guys' time before we get into the news. Because, yes, the news is here and it's incredible. I cannot wait to talk about it. I'm going to do this so that nothing happens. Can you guys actually hear me? Yeah, you can. Okay. For a second there, I thought I forgot to unmute my mic. I was going to be worried. Now I got to mute the real audio, turn down my computer so I cannot have interference. All right. Okay. Twitter. I know no one follows me on Twitter, but whatever. Let's see what we got here. See me live. Here. Why not? And then I'll go on Facebook. Guys, if you want, share out the stream to anyone who you know that likes kaiju and everything like that, because we're going to be covering all the big kaiju news because, there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about here. I'm really excited. Alright, put it in the D-Man Facebook group so that anyone who's there can check it out. And then drop it in some other Facebook groups. Okay, and we're pretty much ready. Yeah, Godzilla 154. How do you like the Facebook group and participate in chat simultaneously? That kid's freaking crazy. You can hear my keyboard? Yeah. Dear Billy. Let's talk about Dear Billy really fast. I know that's not supposed to... Okay. Oh, you guys got me going already. Kong Skull Island. I know I don't want to talk about that until the end, but dang, guys. The Dear Billy thing kept coming up throughout the movie. It has a deeper meaning than I think a lot of us realize. I want to know what that meaning is. I've actually seen the movie 3 times, going on 4 here, so I cannot wait to figure out. I'm picking up on, there's so many hidden references and Easter eggs in this movie. I'm picking up on all of this stuff. Soon, hopefully during spring break or after my spring break, I'll release a video called, like all the Easter eggs or whatever, and we'll break down everything I found. So, Dear Billy is one of the bigger ones that keeps coming up throughout the movie. It's said like 6 or 7 times, and then we see it written a couple times. Obviously, that's Jack Chapman's son, but there's got to be something else to it because why would it show up that many times if it was just the name of his kid? I don't know. Okay, wait, what? You want to know about Shin Godzilla 2? Alright, I'll get there. And then, yeah, so, uh, that movie's great. Kong Skull Island's a great movie. I freaking love it. What if Billy appears in? Oh, that'd be really awesome. So that's another thing. I know. Again, we'll get into we'll get into all this later. But again, uh, the thing is, because Godzilla 2 and Godzilla vs Kong take place so far after, they take place so far after the Kong Skull Island takes place. That takes place in 1973, going on 74. These movies take place in the modern day in 2019 and 2020. So they technically take place in our future, but when the movie comes out, it'll take place in the present. All the characters from Kong Skull Island should be dead. You know, they shouldn't be. I don't think they'd be alive, or at the very least, they'd be very old. So here's what has to happen, I think, is that we should catch up with their kids. So I think maybe we have. Oh, what's up, Kaiju Noir? That's awesome. You haven't missed anything. I love that guy. So he's one of my favorite YouTubers. So, all right, a lot of stuff going on in the chat. Dang. Okay, so, I feel like because these future MonsterVerse movies take place so far after, yeah, you're welcome, take place so far after Kong Skull Island, I feel like we should catch up with maybe Conrad and Weaver have a kid. We should catch up with their kid. I feel like we're going to catch up with, they already have set up for Marlowe's son, who we meet at the end of Skull Island. We could meet Jack Chapman's kid. Maybe he's on his own quest. Like one of these things killed my dad. I'm gonna find him and take him down. Almost the same way that Aaron Taylor Johnson from 2014, Brody. Almost the same way he was like, all right, these Mutos killed my family. They killed both my mom and my dad. I can't let them kill my wife and son and everything like that. I feel like we almost might get something like that, where we get these characters who are the children of the Skull Island cast, and they're like, we can't let this happen. Let's just hope they're great actors like the ones from Skull Island, because those guys are great. Oh, you know what? I'll update the description because there's one other topic I forgot to talk about, or I forgot to add. The Kong Skull, and you guys are going to be like, what? Skull Island 2 news. Oh, yeah, that's a thing. Well, not really, but somewhat. We'll get there. Alright, so. Okay, going in order. Everyone wants to know Shin Gojira 2. Let's talk about it. It's gonna be awesome. So, alright, there was when this will eventually become a video, I'll make sure to link it down below. Hideaki Anno confirmed that there's going to be a new Shin Godzilla, and there's also going to be another Evangelion movie. So, well, a lot of people are saying it might be a mistranslation, that he doesn't say it. It's clearly written there. I don't know why people would think that he doesn't say it. The text that he says legitimately is the text for the words Shin Gojira. It's not Godzilla. It's not just Godzilla. It has the little thing. It has the little Shin prefix in front of it. So I don't know where people are getting this whole mistranslation thing from. He says, please accept the next installments of Shin Godzilla and Shin Evangelion. I'm not even going to pretend I can pronounce that word that comes after it. But pretty much this was all announced there was a crossover symphony for Godzilla and Evangelion. I've heard it was amazing. You know, a lot of people, like, everything I've read online and all the hype leading up to it was so, like, this is going to be the greatest thing in the world. I'm very disappointed that I didn't get to go. I mean, like, not that I would have been able to go, I don't even know what it was, to be completely honest, but I just read a lot about, oh, this is going to be really cool leading up to it. We had some special appearances from voice actors or a voice actress who hosted it, along with one of the Shin Godzilla actors. So it was apparently really, really cool. And then we got other people in there. Anno showed up as a special guest and basically said, "What? The Shin part was put there by mistake. The original wording of the article, I found the Japanese wording." Okay, so Kaiju Noir seems to know more about it than I do. I just found this when I started live streaming. I'll show you guys the thing that I'm reading. I'll put that in chat for you guys to read. Then you guys can translate it. Boom. And boom. Okay. So that's what I've been reading. Alright, let's see what he posts. Too many comments in chat. Can't keep up. Alright. Alright, let's read what the official statement says. Either way, no matter what he says, please accept the next works of Godzilla series and Shin Evangelion theatrical version. Okay, so either way, whatever he says doesn't really matter, because we know for a fact that Toho's sitting on Shin Godzilla going, we know for a fact Toho's sitting on this going, we're making lots of money from this whole Shin Godzilla thing. Like, obviously they made a lot of money for it. They are winning so many awards for it, which is incredible to see a kaiju movie do this well. I never thought it would happen. A lot of people never thought it would happen, but it happened. And it happened with the Japanese Godzilla movie, which is the great thing. A lot of people frown on those, and they're like, oh, rubber suits, cheesy monster fights, cardboard cities. And now we have one that is winning so many different awards. It's awesome. So we know for a fact that Toho's got to be sitting back going, yeah, this obviously Godzilla sells. And we know that Shin Godzilla is really popular as well, just because of all the awards it's winning. So him saying, enjoy the next installments of the Godzilla series, that I feel like we can safely say is Shin Godzilla 2. Unless they're going to do an anthology series, which I really don't want, because we already had that with the Millennium series, and that's actually my least favorite series. I kind of get sick of it when there's a new story every time. I would like a continuous story, but if I certainly do think that we're going to get a Shin Godzilla 2, especially after how many people have been open about wanting a Shin Godzilla 2. We even have some of the actors from Shin Godzilla saying, I want to come back. We have Anno, which is the surprising thing, is that Anno announced this, because I'm pretty sure he was the one who gave the announcement saying, like, oh, that's true. It could be Godzilla Monster Planet. I don't really think it is, because I don't know why he would have to announce that. I feel like if he was going to announce it being Godzilla Monster Planet, he would have just come right out and said, enjoy the new Godzilla movie this year, or like, I feel like he would have been a lot less vague about it. I feel like he would have been more specific about it. So, I don't know. It wasn't an official state. Wait, whoa. It wasn't Anno who said it was an official statement from Toho. Okay, well, all right. Well, I don't know. The thing I'm talking about is, I think it was Anno who came out and said, I don't really want to direct the sequel or whatever. He said something along the lines of, like, it's for Toho to decide, not me. It'd be more interesting if I didn't. So it makes sense now that it wasn't him who announced it, because obviously if he didn't really seem to want to do the sequel that much, or at the very least he didn't think he would be coming back for the sequel, it makes more sense that if Toho put it out than if he did. Either way, though, I strongly believe, and I've been saying this since the movie came out, I strongly believe we will get a sequel to Shin Godzilla, and I've already done videos and videos and videos speculating on what I want to be in the sequel, and I'll run over it here briefly just in case any of you don't know. So, my idea for the Shin Godzilla sequel is we pick up pretty much right where we left off. Obviously, Godzilla's frozen in the city. The things come off of his tail, and they defend him. They defend Godzilla. I want like those humanoids on his tail to come off. They're their own creatures. They work as like a hive unit to protect Godzilla. They're going to run around through the city causing mayhem in order to keep Godzilla safe long enough for him to enter his next evolution. I want his next evolution to be that the face in the tail. I want it to evolve into a new Godzilla. I want the original Godzilla to evolve into something a lot more classic, and I want there to be two Godzillas. And I know a lot of people, especially after my theory video done on Godzilla King of the Monsters, with the two Godzillas being in the Legendary Universe, which is almost pretty much confirmed. Well, it is confirmed. There have been more than one Godzilla in the Legendary Universe at one point or another. We just don't know if both of them are still living yet. I can tell a lot of you guys told me in the comments of that video, you guys don't want two Godzillas in one movie. I personally think Shin Godzilla 2 is the place to do it. If you are gonna do a sequel to the most different Godzilla movie that's still faithful to the character, why not take it to a new level where you put two Godzillas? Yeah, two Godzillas, what could this mean? Why not do that? Because you have so many possibilities with two Godzillas. A lot of people think, what if they fight? I personally think, what if they don't? What if they just both work together, the much more classic Godzilla, and then we could get the one that comes out of the tail could just be a straight-up clone of Shin Godzilla, and it could be this never-ending cycle of just death and destruction. And that would also, first of all, that'd also be very grim, a very grim outlook on the movie, unless they find some way to finally kill Godzilla. You know, it'd be very, looking at this going, we are doomed. Mankind, we screwed up to the point where we can never be redeemed for it. If Godzilla is just going to keep evolving, there's just going to be more and more and more of them, and there's nothing we can do about that. We are all going to die kind of thing. So it's a pretty dark look at it if you think about it like that. But the way I think about it is it'd just be really interesting and entertaining to see two different Godzillas walking around the city. You know, maybe they're just going in opposite directions, destroying stuff. And then we have to have the human characters band together with other countries, maybe work as that whole unit kind of, that unit theme that was worked throughout. If you've seen Shin Godzilla, you know what I'm talking about. This whole kind of, you have to work together to get anything done mindset. And I think that'd be a really great way to bring that back in, is if Japan has to go back to America, has to go to Russia, all these different countries, China, everyone on Earth has to kind of band together to stop the Godzillas, both of them, and they have to stop them from evolving, and then they have to stop them from destroying stuff. I think that'd be an incredibly interesting movie, and I would also love to see, for once, we rarely ever see this, maybe in Final Wars and 2014 are the only ones that come to mind, where we take Godzilla off Japan, stick him onto a different country, and we still have... So I want like a global Godzilla. So we could have maybe the much more classic version of Godzilla stay in Japan destroying stuff. We have the Shin Godzilla, or maybe the other way around, split off from Japan, go to a different country, and start attacking it there. Swim up on sea, make landfall, so two different countries being attacked at once. Oh, we also see that in Destroy All Monsters during... We don't see it a lot, but we see a little bit of it. I think that'd be really cool. So, man, obviously I want to see two Godzillas in the future in one movie, and I really think this is a cool way to do it, where you have one Godzilla split off from the other. Yeah, so obviously also the concept art, and this happens every time I live stream, my thoughts just are coming to me as I'm saying them. I'm all over the place when I do these, and I apologize for that, but they're live streams. I mean, what are you going to do? Anyways, so I'm saying, because we know the Art of Shin Godzilla shows us that they already had the idea for two Godzillas to be in the one movie, wouldn't it be interesting if the second Godzilla that's developing in the tail, assuming that's what it is, comes out of the tail, goes to a different country, we have the whole world being we have the whole world being destroyed, and then we just have to have everyone band together. I think that'd work great. I think that'd be an incredible movie. A lot of people think that this is what they should do, and this is... I don't necessarily think this would make a bad movie. This is not my idea. I would prefer a different version of this. Obviously, the one that I just stated is what I want, but here's what a lot of people want. Number one, if there are two Godzillas, if the second Godzilla comes out of the tail, it fights the first Godzilla, and they fight to the death. Whoever wins is the king of the monsters, and they are the one who ends up destroying the city for the rest of the movie, and they have to be destroyed by the military. Other people think, what if the tail is an opportunity to bring other kaiju into this series? I personally have very mixed feelings about this. So on the one hand, a lot of people think, what if the thing in the tail could turn into Anguirus, Ghidorah, something along these lines? I don't think this is a good idea. It's too far of a stretch for me, and Shin Godzilla is already a far enough stretch. When you watch Kamata-kun's landing, you just look at that and you go, oh, that design. It stretches your your suspension of disbelief, as well as the tail laser and the back photons. Oh, photons are light beams, you idiot. They're specifically referred to as photons in the movie. So, if you go off this, where it could turn into anything, I feel like that's almost too much of a stretch, because you would think that if it's the same DNA of Godzilla, it would look, or at least slightly resemble Godzilla. Even the humanoids on the tail slightly resemble Godzilla. They have his dorsal fins. I don't think it makes sense if all of a sudden the thing that comes out of the tail is just Ghidorah. I don't think that makes any sense at all. And a lot of people are like, well, that could be an awesome way to bring all the kaiju into the series, just have them evolve off Godzilla. Maybe eventually, but you have to start out. Maybe you get Gorosaurus comes out of the tail. And I know that's a random example, and they're never going to do it, or unless they do a very different, very serious version of Gorosaurus. But I think it doesn't make sense that you go from Godzilla to Ghidorah that easily. I think if you go Godzilla, Gorosaurus, to a different monster, to a different monster, to a different monster, eventually wind up with Ghidorah. That might make more sense. Another way to think about this is basically people are suggesting Frankenstein Conquers the World transition into War of the Gargantuas. You have a Frankenstein kaiju, and his cells wind up growing into Gargantua, and Gargantua's cells, Sonda, gets scraped off, attaches to sea lice, grows into Gyra. They all are very similar to each other. One resembles the other, and when you watch Frankenstein Conquers the World, immediately followed with War of the Gargantuas, you can see, oh yeah, this makes complete sense that one would evolve from the other. So I don't think it does make sense that if we just go from, all of a sudden we go from Godzilla to Ghidorah, I don't think that makes any sense. It would need to be a transition like it was in that movie. You don't start out with Gyra, you start out with, Nerfman, that's called being liked in the fandom. You start out with Frankenstein, you attach yourself to something else and turn into Sonda, and then you turn into Gyra. I think that's a much better way to do it. You don't have it be such a drastic Godzilla to Ghidorah out of nowhere. That's just... I don't think that makes any sense. I don't like that idea. A lot of people, like I keep saying, want that. It's not up to me. I think whatever they do, hopefully it's good. That's all that matters. That's all I care, is if it's good. And with that, let's stop talking about Shin Godzilla 2's announcement, even though it's, apparently it's not 100% confirmed Shin Godzilla 2, it's just another Godzilla movie, presumably Shin Godzilla 2. That's what we can assume, or at least that's what I'm going to assume. Let's get into the actual 100% confirmation news, Godzilla Monster Planet. So, this is something we've speculated about for a long time. The Godzilla anime... How dare you put me in timeout? If I put you in timeout, that means you're not being smart. Here's the thing. This guy just did it too. Here's the thing. I'm going to put you guys in timeout, and I'm going to make this ground rule really quick here. I'm going to put you guys in timeout. If you, self-promote, that's just stop. So, that really hurts. Sorry. Man, don't call me Grease, man. Subscribe to me. That's what you're doing. I'm gonna put you guys in timeout if you self-promote. Okay, that's a rule. Jeez, so many people doing it. It's just annoying almost all YouTubers are going to agree. I know very popular YouTubers agree with me. It's just annoying. Don't go into someone else's comments self-promoting. No one likes seeing that. It's just rude. And then also don't attack people or just be a complete idiot, and I won't put you in timeout. Also, those guys who love to spam, I'll put them in timeout too if they spam me to the point where, oh, this guy just did it too. Sorry, Lukey MC, I actually like you, but no exceptions. I'm gonna do it to all you guys. I'm gonna do it to all you guys because you guys think you're funny. There you guys go. You're in timeout now. You feel like a child yet? Sub to my channel instead of D-Man. I'm dying. I know you are, Nerf Man. I don't want to delete that, even though I just said no exceptions. Please don't tell. Okay, if you guys are talking about the new Shin Godzilla pictures, or figures, actually, we'll get into that before we get into Godzilla Monster Planet. So, new Shin Godzilla figures from Bandai, they look pretty sweet. I personally think they look really sweet. And if you guys know, I bagged on Bandai when the original release came out. I said it was not. I didn't like it. I did not think that the original release of the Bandai figures were quality. I thought that they were just kind of. They're Bandai figures, alright? What are you going to expect? But these new versions, they look really good. These new Shin Godzilla versions, you have some different colorations of Kamata-kun, Shinagawa-kun. I think they look really, really good. They look way more detailed than the original. I already ordered SH Monster Arts versions, so I don't necessarily think, thanks Zach, I don't necessarily think that I'm going to get them, but they do look a lot better than than what I was expecting from Bandai. And we also knew that they were going to do these special colorations, especially because the Universal Japan version of the Shin Gojira came with purple dorsal fins, and that was Bandai as well. So we figured we were going to get more, and then we did. And the Atomic Breath version of the Bandai figure, first of all, how cool is it that we're actually getting variants of Bandai figures for once? That is really awesome. I think I'm going to get this one, and I don't even have the original Bandai release, I just have the SH Monster Arts, but I think that'd be pretty cool. And then I think there's some other ones too. I think there's maybe a Frozen in coagulant version. Oh, that's the stupidest thing you've ever said. I got that as a comment once when I said that. He legitimately gets frozen by the coagulant. What do you want me to refer to it as? Anyways, done with my side rant right there. There's another one. You can see the face and the tail. You can see, I think the humanoids are on it too. I have a screenshot on my phone. I might as well just look at the screenshot right now. Because I did look at that. Yeah, so we have special coloration version of Kamata-kun, Shinagawa-kun. They look great. We have Atomic Breath version of Bandai's Shin Godzilla. Looks really cool as well. Also, my favorite one that they're doing so far that I've seen is the Frozen and Coagulant version, just because of the humanoid tail. I think that's so cool. And I also don't think that, despite the fact that... Who was the one who did it? Does anyone remember who had that raffle where they had the different versions of Godzilla? They had the Frozen and Coagulant version, the landing version. Who the heck was that? And then they had their original version. They had the three of them. Man, I can't believe I can't remember what they were. And then they also had the purple version. Who was that? And I always thought they looked really great. Anyways, one of those toy companies already did it. I don't think SH Monster Arts, although we have that grayscale variant. It's not grayscale, it is tan variant. I don't think we're going to wind up with a Frozen Coagulant version like I would want. So I might actually just get that Bandai Coagulant version just for the sake of having a Bandai, or just for the sake of having a Coagulant version. And I know I spend way too much money on Shin Godzilla already. I've spent over what, $350 on Shin Godzilla already. Hopefully, I'll be spending a lot more on it soon. With maybe I'll get the 4K. If everything works out, I'll get the 4K edition, and then if everything works out, I will get the next releases from SH Monster Arts. Alright. Now moving on. Did the coagulant freeze Shin? Oh, I guess we're not moving on. Did the coagulant freeze Shin, or did Shin freeze itself to prevent from overheating from coagulant? You know, they don't necessarily specify in the movie, so it very well could be that Godzilla freezes himself in order to not, not die from... Because they do say they want to... What do they say they want to do? They say they want to, like... What do they say? They want to put him in... What's the wording, guys? Basically, they want to force a meltdown on him. That's basically what they want to do, because he's a nuclear fusion is what's keeping him alive. Nuclear fusion is what's keeping him alive, for all of you people who hate the way I say that word. They try and force a reaction from that, so that very well could be that Godzilla frees himself. I'm not quite sure, because the movie doesn't do a very good job of specifying. I guess that science and all that talk is not Anno's strong suit, and a lot of people would agree with me. So, what are we going to do, guys? We can't really do anything. What are you guys talking about in the chat? You guys never make any sense in the chat. What are you doing, cat? Dude, this cat's freaking out, I'm telling you guys. Alright. Let's get into the next topic. Finally. Yeah. It is very annoying when you get so many people... Because I say nuclear, and a lot of people are like, what are you doing with your life? It's not a U, it's an E. I get it. Nuclear. It's just more natural for me to say nuclear. And a lot of people hate that. Like, even my chemistry teacher hated that. Always. Nuclear. That's the way I always had to say it. Nuclear. Because it'd make her mad. I know, Godzilla Monster Planet. Let's get into that. You guys want me to talk about Pacific Rim Uprising? I'll add it to the list. Maybe we'll get there. Depending on what time we get there. I mean, we spend a long time. Rim. Pacific Rim Uprising. Maybe. Okay, that's added to the list. Nuclear. Oh, what did a 5-year-old make this thumbnail? 5-year-old didn't make this thumbnail. I made it, but I made it in like 2 minutes, so it's not very quality. You know, Nerfman knows. Quality is not his strong suit, so I'm sure looking at this thumbnail, he realizes, yeah, this was thrown together really quickly, the same way my videos are. I'm sure that's probably what he's thinking right now, because honestly, his channel is like 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards kind of thing. Ugh, it's sad. Godzilla Monster Planet, let's get into it. So, Godzilla anime, I'm gonna actually pull up my sheet here. What do they have to say about the Godzilla anime? Where the heck did it go? I don't know. It's coming to Netflix, something like that. I know it's coming to Netflix. Can't find the date. I'm gonna find the date really fast. It's saved on my desktop. I just have to click the right button, and I didn't. I clicked the wrong button. But you know, that's just my fault. Did they give a date? I know they said it's coming to Netflix, but I don't know when. I don't see a date. Maybe not. Alright. Let's talk about Godzilla Monster Planet. So, this is something that we've talked about for a while now. This is the Godzilla anime. I've done theory videos, speculation videos, talking about how I did personally think that the reason it was taking place in such far future, and the reason it was a spaceship, potentially a spaceship that we keep seeing in these... wow, everyone hates on me in this chat. Nice. Everyone hates on you in your own chat, Nerfman. This is nothing new to you. His videos are literally like the dislike ratio to the like ratio on his live streams are very disappointing. So, Godzilla... I'm going to stop reading the chat because it keeps just distracting me, so I'll read it later. Godzilla Monster Planet. Here's what happened. We've been talking about it for a while now. The concept art that came out looked like it was a spaceship in the far future touching down on potentially Earth. There was a lot of vegetation there, lots of rocks, colorful blue sky. It was Earth. And so we talked about, in one of the news updates we did a while ago, we talked about the fact that this was probably in a future where Godzilla just got so bad on Earth that humans just had to uproot and leave. They had to get out of there when they could because it just was not sustainable anymore for life. Human life was not able to continue on this planet. Eventually, it's almost like Wall-E. Like if you've seen Wall-E, so much pollution builds up that eventually they just have to get out of there and they have to load up in a spaceship and then they just leave. And eventually, at the very end of Wall-E, they come back. One of the spaceships comes back to Earth. So, hold on 1 second. There you go. So, I think that Wall-E. I think that what we might be seeing in the Godzilla anime, and this is almost confirmed by the title, is this takes place in the far future, obviously. It has to. Unless it takes place in an alternate universe where they're just much more technologically advanced than we are, this takes place in the far future. Now we know that it's Godzilla Monster Planet's the title. Potentially there's more than one monster on it. I mean, if it's called Monster Planet, it's not called Monster Island and just Godzilla lives there. It's not called, Monster Land if you're going off destroy all monsters. It's called Monster Island. So if this is called Monster Planet, it might be. Hey, I asked for dislikes on my streams, you meanie. Nerfman, that was like 12 and a half minutes ago that I made that comment. Catch up. And a lot of people are like, dang, he's really being mean to this Nerfman kid. Yeah, there's a reason for it. He knows. You guys do too. So, the thing is, what am I trying to say here? I keep getting distracted by the chat. Oh, it's not called Monster Planet for no reason. Monster Planet, it might be because they almost used Earth like they used Monster Island, where they're like, we got to keep the monsters contained somehow. Just as long as we're not in their area, we're safe. So they might have gotten into this spaceship. We've seen lots of concept art of it. Gotten into this spaceship, sat up there in the sky, and just waited for a while. And then eventually, it looks like this movie might be more people going back down to check the situation out. And they're like, is it safe? We don't know. It's hard to tell. So they might be going back down to Earth. And this is when they're going to run into Godzilla. So we have no actual legitimate concept art of Godzilla yet. We only have pictures of a spaceship. We have pictures of a robot and some soldiers walking around on Earth. We also have a picture of a spaceship touching down on Earth, or at least these futuristic ships. We don't actually have any pictures of Godzilla other than that one that came out that a lot of people think was unofficial fan art. A lot of people think it was official concept art. It's kind of up in the air on what it is. There are people like me who personally believe, what if this whole thing is that they accidentally released this art and then they had to cover it up by saying it's just really good fan art. They couldn't just be like, you know what, that's Godzilla in the movie, here's the reveal. So they actually leaked it and then covered it up. That could be a potential possibility. I don't know if that's true. I'm really up in the air on it. I feel deep down, it's probably just fan art. And it's really good fan art. And a lot of you guys who have seen this picture, you know what I'm talking about. But Godzilla is massive in that. It could be called Godzilla Monster Planet because Godzilla is so big that they had to get off the planet, and it's just he owns the place now. He is king of everything. Let's get into... there was a statement on Facebook about Godzilla Monster Planet. I'll see if I can find it again. Because it was really interesting. Let me check really fast, guys. I'm sorry. Here it is. Give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. It just says the setting is on a far future Earth, so that's already we've already confirmed that. On the channel, we've already talked about that, and now we have confirmation here. It takes place in the far future of Earth, which is awesome. Monsters roam and creatures dwell, and Godzilla is king of them all. That's the statement we got. We got that statement from August Ragone. I've actually heard of that guy before. I don't know who he is, but I've heard of it before. So this is really cool. Confirmation takes place in the far future. No need to speculate about that anymore. And then we also know now there's multiple monsters on the Earth. Godzilla's king of them all. So I think pretty much, yeah. We just already talked about what this might mean. That Godzilla Marvel is 840 meters tall. I don't think that's true, but he is the biggest Godzilla. Anyways, I think I think we just figured it out. So the movie's going to take place in the far future. Humans had to leave Earth. They're in the spaceship. They're coming back down to check if it's safe. Godzilla is just going to be this massive monster. He's going to rule over everything. There's going to be tons of monsters on Earth. That's why they had to leave. It's Monster Planet. It's kind of like Monster Island. They kept them all contained on Earth. Well, not necessarily. They just stayed on Earth. They kept them all on Earth, and they just left because they could not live anymore on Earth. I think that's what the movie's going to be. It comes out on Netflix, so it's going to have, from what I read, it's going to have a theatrical release in Japan. Good news for Japanese people in Japan. Kaiju Noir gets to see it in theaters potentially, depending on if that news is true. And also it'd have to be close to him because he lives in Japan. But yeah, and then it comes to Netflix afterward worldwide. So we'll get to see it eventually. We'll get to stream it on Netflix, which is a little disappointing. I would have liked the theatrical release in America. There's not going to be one, but I would have really, really liked one. What's coming out on Netflix? Godzilla Monster Planet, the Godzilla anime, late this year, or maybe mid this year. Later this year than it is now, obviously. That's coming to Netflix. It should be cool. Is it rated R? I don't know. I've never heard about that before, but one of the people in chat said it's rated R, so it might be. I didn't even know anime had rating, to be honest with you. I just figured it was anime, because anime is anime. I don't know. I'm not big on anime, but yeah, I think that's really good. I think that this movie has potential to be really cool. Next topic. Godzilla, king of the monsters. Not king of monsters, king of the monsters. Well, as he's saying, these comments are looking a little more mature than my stream. That's true, but they're not totally mature. That is, the sad truth of YouTube. Yeah, see, right away, right as he says these comments are more mature than mine, they all pop up and they're all being dumb. So Even is in anime. I've never seen it. I'd like to get into it. Maybe this summer I will. But currently I've never seen it. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I've heard a lot of bad things about it, so I don't quite know. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Let's talk about that Kong Skull Island ending one more time, shall we? So, obviously, we know for a fact Godzilla, Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra all exist in this universe. That video I put out, 2 Godzillas confirmed for the Monsterverse, is so controversial. So many people are arguing about it. It was just a theory. It was just a theory video, guys. I wasn't trying to 100% confirm it. I was just trying to give as much evidence as I could and be as confident about it as I could. Because if you're not confident in a video, if you're just like, I don't know, well maybe this might be true. I don't like a theory video. No one's gonna listen to you. I don't know why people got so upset about that. I don't know why people got so angry. Give me 1 second to check on the cat, and then I'll be right back. I think it's just the fact that I'm home alone and I have the door closed and he's kind of freaked out. I don't know what his deal is. Okay, so many people got mad at me for that 2 Godzillas confirmed video. I do believe that there's 2 Godzillas. That's my thoughts. There are some people saying not necessarily that it's 2 Godzillas confirmed, that it's a futuristic, that whoever drew the picture could see the future. Don't word it like that. You're going to lose credibility instantly. Let me reword that theory to make it make more sense. This theory, the way that you should be wording it is that they didn't see the future, but it's a prophecy that one day these monsters will collide and they will fight. That gives it a lot more validity to it. A lot of people say, what if it's the people from Infinite Island who drew this picture? What if it's the Cosmos or the Shojin or however you say that? What if it's them? Maybe it's someone with magical powers. Could be. Very well could be the people from Infinite Island. If we even get Infinite Island in this series, it might just be Skull Island. Just Mothra might be on it already. Based off that, if you guys have seen it, that painting on the native's head slightly resembles Mothra's symbol from the Toho Godzilla movies and Mothra solo movies. So it might make a lot of sense that the thing on her head, the native said, is the legendary universe version of that symbol from Toho. I think that makes sense to me, and we don't have any sort of leads other than that Mothra will be on Skull Island. Maybe Mothra will 100% be from Infinite Island. Maybe Mothra will have the same introduction, where she's this mystical goddess. Honestly, she needs to be a mystical goddess, otherwise they're doing Mothra wrong. The same way that Kong needed to be god of the island. He needed to be king, otherwise they were doing it wrong. So I think it'd be cool if Mothra came from Skull Island, just as long as we still had the introduction of the goddess element of it. We don't even need the fairies. We didn't have the fairies in GMK, and that Mothra is still alright. It's not my favorite Mothra. It's actually my least favorite Mothra incarnation. But we did have the fairies. Mothra's still done okay in that movie. In this movie, they could do it in a very similar way. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, sorry. Who's Tommy H? I don't know who that is. I don't want to fight him. He sounds a lot more likable than I am. Guys, my allergies are also kicking my butt right now because of that dang cat. So, okay. Mothra could be from Skull Island, could not be. We don't have any sort of evidence other than the thing on the girl's head to suggest that she is. Even that evidence isn't hard and set in stone that, it is going to be Mothra's symbol or whatever. It's just speculation. I think as long as we retain the mystical element of it, it's fine. The people who made this painting at the end of Kong Skull Island, they could be future seers, if you want to word it like that, from the island. They could have those kind of abilities that they had in Final Wars, I think. I don't really remember them having any future insight in any of the movies other than Final Wars, when they kind of were like, it's gonna happen again, Mothra and Gigan are gonna fight, or whatever they said, something like that. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to have future abilities in this series. I don't even know if they're going to be in this series. I think what we're supposed to take away from this painting is that Godzilla and Ghidorah have already fought, or at least a Godzilla has already fought a Ghidorah. Potentially that is Rodan in the background of the painting. It could be. It doesn't look like it's not Rodan. I think it looks like Rodan. A lot of people don't think it looks like Rodan. It looks like him. What are you guys talking about? Look in between. You guys see it's the only thing on screen. Look in between Ghidorah and Godzilla. You see Rodan. He's right there. But maybe that's not supposed to be him. Maybe it's just supposed to be Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. The point is, a lot of people think that people saw the future and they are seeing what will happen, or it's a prophecy that one day these two gods will clash. I still think that they fought in the past. People witnessed it, drew it down, and then this is potentially confirmation that two Godzillas exist in the legendary universe still. Demon 1954 doesn't know who Tommy H is. No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sure I've seen one of his videos, but it's not like he's one of the people I'm subscribed to. I don't subscribe to a lot of people. That's just the way I do it. Now, alright. So, Tommy H is one of the chill guys you'll meet on YouTube. He does Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, and Godzilla news, or Godzilla videos. It's cool. He sounds nice. Like I said, he's got a pretty nice name. Mine is D-Man1954. Mine sounds like I made it when I was a child, because I did. Anyways, what else might happen in Godzilla King of the Monsters? Let's get into some more Godzilla King of the Monsters news. First off, we have our producers announced, and we actually have a lot of them. I'm not actually going to read them because there's too many of them. But there's producers announced. We have the casting director. We have the production designer. The art director. What else do we have here? Secondary unit directors, art department. So it looks like the movie's coming together pretty well. It looks like. And then we have some cast. So here's where the stuff gets really interesting: the cast and the writing and the directing. Now, first of all, Michael Dougherty is directing this movie. I'm worried about that because he directs Krampus. He's directed horror-ish movies before. I don't know horror-ish movies, for those of you who can't understand me. He's directed those movies before. I don't know if he's going to do the right thing with Godzilla King of the Monsters. He's obviously a big Godzilla fan. If you've seen him on Twitter, if you've seen his Bible that he posts on Twitter, he's obviously a big Godzilla fan, or at least he was. So I don't, and clearly if he's directing a new Godzilla movie, they would never let Roland Emmerich kind of person direct a Godzilla movie again where they have no respect for the franchise after what happened then. So the fact that he is directing this movie should be interesting. I've never actually seen one of his movies in full. I started Krampus. It was okay. I mean, the human characters in that movie, they're all right. Not that the human characters in Godzilla 2014, a lot of people didn't think they were good. I did. A lot of people didn't think they were good, but I don't know. Hopefully the human characters in this movie are good. Hopefully the rest of our writers are good here, because he's also writing. He's also helping out with the screenplay of this movie. We have Max Brookstein. He is helping write this movie. Yeah, he helped out with both Godzilla 2014. He wrote both Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. He's got a pretty good record with the Monsterverse. I'm pretty sure he's the one who they said was going to take up the lead for this franchise, this Monsterverse series. And I think he's going to be the one who is our Kevin Feige of Marvel, if you want to go there. I think that's the one that they announced was going to be that. We also have Zach Shields coming on. He's known for Krampus, The Conjuring. I don't know about these horror movie guys. I don't know if they necessarily... Godzilla, especially legendary Godzilla, is not a bad guy. This shouldn't be a horror movie. Shin Godzilla is probably the closest thing we've had since 84 to being a horror movie. 84, the closest thing we've had since 54 to being a horror movie. Godzilla is just not meant for horror, alright? 54, 84, Shin Godzilla, some of the best Godzilla movies ever made. In fact, they are, I think they're probably like the best Godzilla movies ever made. But I don't think that we should have all these horror people involved. Also, the casting. We also have, a lot of people are really happy about this. Vera, I don't even know how to say her name. Vera Furman. She's joining this movie. She's the main chick from The Conjuring. She's been in some other horror movies. Keyword here, horror movies. She's an awarded actress. A lot of people love her. I've only ever seen her in The Conjuring off the top of my head. I'll see what else she's been in really quick. The Conjuring, yeah. I've not seen anything else that she's been in. So, getting another horror movie person back in this. Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things coming on. She is in a horror adventure series on Netflix, Stranger Things. Great show. She's a great character in that. Hopefully she does really well in this. She is actually the daughter of Vera, what's-her-face, and also Kyle Chandler, the one who I'm actually excited about being in this movie. He is known for Super 8, as well as King Kong 2005. He's Bruce Baxter, so he's had some experience in the King Kong universe. He's probably going to be alright in the Godzilla universe. Depending on how the writing is, he'll be good. I like the actor. I think he did great in Super 8. He knows this monster movie stuff pretty well, I'd say. So I'm excited for him coming on. And then Ken Watanabe. So he is only rumored. There's no official announcement. He's going to be returning as Dr. Serizawa. Don't quite know Vera, what's her face? I don't know her name. I don't quite know why they wouldn't bring him back, but if they don't, they're making a huge mistake. That's the main point I want to make. If they don't bring Serizawa back, they're losing their connection to Monarch, Monarch being their connection to Skull Island. Big mistake. They definitely should not go down that route. I certainly really hope that Serizawa's back. Ken Watanabe, I really like Serizawa. I really liked his portrayal of Serizawa in Godzilla 2014. He was my favorite character, and other than Bryan Cranston, obviously, was a great character, even though he died. I don't know. I really hope they bring him back. If they don't, huge mistake. I'm glad he's at this point rumored, because earlier he was nowhere to be seen, and people weren't even, at least online on IMDb or anything like that, weren't even talking about him. So I'm glad to see that he is at least rumored for the new one. Even though like Loki was rumored for Avengers 2, didn't show up once, Tom Hiddleston. This one, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they bring him back is the real question. Alright, next topic is not Godzilla King of the Monsters. Okay, well, actually, really fast. Should we talk about what we think the story is going to be of that movie? There's a couple ways you could intro the movie. I think the perfect intro for this movie should be seeing a much more hardened, experienced Godzilla showing up, killing another Muto that's appeared. And it could be one of the Mutos from 2014. For all I care, it could be a Skullcrawler. That'd be awesome. It could be one of these. I don't know. I just want to start the movie with Godzilla killing some monster, showing that he's more experienced, older, smarter, stronger. I think that'd be really awesome. And then I think from there, we should be or we could start the movie like that. This is the other start that I'd be okay with. Start it on Infant Island with Mothra. Start it kind of the same way you start Skull Island, where you have the reveal of Kong in the first scene. Start it just like that with Mothra. Maybe you have some explorers on this island. They're walking. All of a sudden, it could be like another one of those Skull Island kind of fake out reveals where they walk past this log. Maybe the log starts moving. It's Mothra in her caterpillar form. She goes around them. She's like, probably Mothra would be like 50 to 100 feet as a caterpillar form, right? That's how big she is. Goes around them. It's everyone's all freaking out. Like maybe there's a squadron in the jungle that's like, oh, what is this? They're explorers or whatever. Maybe you have the same kind of thing that you had in what movie was it? Godzilla Mothra Battle for Earth, where you have kind of a sleazebag Indiana Jones type guy in the jungle, and then you have the introduction. Unlike in that movie, you just introduce Mothra here. I think it'd be really cool to start the movie with Mothra or Godzilla killing something. Those are the two ways that I'd want to start it. I wouldn't really want to start it with Rodan, and I wouldn't want to start it with King Ghidorah for sure. Here's how I do it. You start it with Godzilla. If you start it with Godzilla, then you get into your human characters, get into Mothra. Eventually, you are introduced to Rodan, and then in the last act of the movie, Ghidorah is introduced. But you set him up early. So you set all of them up early. So I think one thing that you could do, and this would be really great, I would lose it if this happened, is if, here's how the movie played out. Open with Godzilla, kills a monster, cut to our family. We have Bruce Baxter, I'm going to refer to him as, from King Kong. I forgot his name. Chandler. What's his name? Oh, I already deleted the thing. I don't remember his name. Kyle Chandler, something like that. You have Bruce Baxter, his wife. Bruce Baxter works in a mine. This is where I lose it. Is if he worked in a mine, you start the movie, he's like, oh, one of the people went missing in this mine. And I know mining is not like a huge thing nowadays in America, but it's still there. People still mine. Oh, Godzilla, what terrible language. So if you have him be like the owner or like someone working in a mine, he's like, oh, one of us went missing. What's going on here? I'm really worried. That'd be really cool because it'd be setting up Rodan. Now I think you could do the whole Mega Neuron thing. You wouldn't necessarily, they don't have the rights to the Mega Neurons. Maybe it's Skullcrawlers. God, I want the Skullcrawlers to come back. They're really cool. So I think what would be cool is if like the Skullcrawlers, maybe we'll just say it's them. They are in this mine killing these people one by one. They're eating them. This is where you can have the horror movie aspect brought in here. So you don't introduce that yet. You just have him be like, one of them went missing in the mine. We're going back down to find him or whatever. I'll be gone for a while, or whatever he has to say to his wife. And then she's like, all right. And then you have some of our other main human characters cut to them in the jungle. They're searching around. This giant log starts moving. It's Mothra. She's the larva form, and they're like, what is that? Like caterpillar form. Maybe they meet the natives of this island, whatever, wherever they are. They could be Skull Island. I don't think so, because I don't want to see Kong in this movie. Until the after credit scene, I don't want to see Kong. So it could just be at this point that they're on a different island, Infant Island, and this is where they meet the Infant Islanders. We're introduced to Mothra's history, cut back to our main human characters, see a little bit of the family dynamic. They're all still searching for this missing person. Godzilla's not anywhere to be seen yet. He just goes back into the ocean after the first scene. So you could have them go down into the mine, like searching for these people that have gone missing. They're like, where are they? Where are they? They find a skull crawler comes out, starts tearing stuff up. All of a sudden, Beak comes down, gobbles it up. Same way, throwback straight to Rodan from the original Rodan solo movie way back when. I don't remember what year that came out, 1960 something. You have Rodan. So the skull crawlers, the way the Mega Neurons worked in that movie, they killed the people. Rodan, just when he hatched out of his egg, he ate them. So I think maybe you could have a younger Rodan, or maybe it's the adult Rodan sitting down next to its egg. These skull crawlers come out. He eats them. The skull crawlers are the food for his eggs, or for her eggs, I guess, which will eventually turn into the baby Rodans, which, we may or may not see them in this movie. Who knows? But I think it'd be awesome. Or maybe it's the same way that it is in Rodan, where once the thing is hatched, it's full grown. So I think overall, what I'm trying to say here is I really want this whole mining aspect to come back into it, where he's like the father, he's in the mines, people are going missing, horror movie build up, all of a sudden Mega Neurons or skull crawlers are revealed, like there's this big panic, then Rodan shows up, he's eating them, he comes out into the mainland, he's destroying stuff, Godzilla shows up, and they fight a huge battle, Godzilla versus Rodan, because Godzilla, he's there, nature has an order, power to restore balance, Godzilla's that balance, he's there to wipe out Rodan so that things can go back to normal. Who knows what cities this is taking place in? It makes sense that it's in America, considering we have an American family. It could be in Japan again, although I think if you're going to push it in Japan, have a Japanese family at that point, because or you could have another 2014 situation. Oh, that's a little convenient. Keep it out of Japan, actually. Never mind, I changed my mind. Keep it out of Japan. What happened to no more spoiler thumbnails? The movie's already out. Get over it. What am I trying to say here? So, I keep getting distracted by the dang chat. So, alright. Godzilla shows up, fights Rodan, back to Infant Island. Our people are there. Mothra's there. She goes back to the mainland, kind of like a situation much like we had in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, where these people on Infant Island are like, ooh, this bigger threat's coming, like this thing is on its way, we know it. Maybe this is where you kind of have that whole mystical aspect. They're like, we know it's coming, here's this cave painting we did, cut to that thing from Kong Skull Island, they're like, this thing's gonna go down, now we know that for sure it's a prophecy. They're like, guys, we gotta get Godzilla and Rodan to stop fighting each other, we need them to fight this other thing. Ghidorah shows up, starts tearing it up. Mothra's there, or not yet though. Actually, we have Mothra gets to the Godzilla and Rodan, cools them down or whatever. Maybe they fight Mothra for a little bit. Maybe Mothra is beaten by Godzilla and Rodan. They team up against her really quick, get her out of the area so that they can fight each other again. Mothra goes and is like, screw this, and just decides she's going to evolve. She goes into her little cocoon, gets ready to turn into the adult Mothra. Maybe Godzilla and Rodan are worn out. Rodan flies away. Godzilla goes back to the ocean. Mothra is just left in the middle of this city in her cocoon. The military surrounds it. They're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Maybe you could have a Ford Brody cameo where he's like, oh, I've dealt with this crap before. Hopefully he doesn't die, though. That'd be kind of dumb. Or you could have Kong Skull Island cameos where they're like, yep, we've been here before. Monarch, I don't know. But point is, Godzilla, Rodan are gone. They're worn out. Mothra is in her cocoon. Now you have Ghidorah show up. When everyone's vulnerable, Ghidorah shows up. All three of them are forced to team up against him. Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster remake kind of battle in the middle of a city, destroying everything. Ghidorah is just this huge threat, tearing everything up. You could have Rodan show up first, Godzilla show up first, doesn't matter. Mothra comes out of her cocoon first and starts fighting him. I do think we should get one Ghidorah destruction scene solo before anyone fights him. Like, he shows up, starts destroying everything. All of a sudden, Mothra hatches and flies out. She's like, crap, where's Godzilla gone? Rodan shows up with Ghidorah, starts fighting him. Godzilla shows up with Mothra. All three of them team up against Ghidorah. They beat him. They kill him. Don't bring him back for Kong vs. Godzilla. That's going to suck. They kill him. He's out of the picture anymore. All three monsters go their separate ways. They're like, we're done. Or maybe you don't kill Ghidorah. Maybe he retreats to wherever he came from. Hopefully space. Maybe he retreats. He's like, oh, I lost. He takes off. He could lose a head. Cool reference to Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. And after all this, the movie just ends. After credit scene be Kong, maybe Mothra or Rodan or someone lands on Skull Island. Kong sees him, goes. He could even kill him. That'd be a crazy after credit ending. Kong sees him and then goes and kills him. That'd be insane. Or maybe he just sees him and it's kind of like that ending of Kong Skull Island where you zoom in on his eye and he's all furious. And then we just transition into Godzilla vs. Kong a year later. I think that'd be the coolest movie that they could make. They're probably going to make an even cooler one than I just said, but off the top of my head, that's the best I could do. Alright, next topic, I guess. What's our next topic? We have Godzilla, King of the Monsters speculation, Kong Skull Island. Alright, let's get into Kong Skull Island. So I'm excited to talk about this. The box office, Kong Skull Island, took a 53% drop, but they estimate that it'll rise back up when people start going on spring break here. I'm going to be on spring break in the next couple weeks. So hopefully the movie starts doing a little bit better. Once again, we're waiting on the Chinese release, but it's doing pretty well overall. So it has a $185 million budget. It has earned, what did it earn? $28.9 million. Its second week, so that's only for its second week. It's not doing bad, but it's not doing like amazing yet. So our worldwide income for the movie so far, it looks like, and we did take some big drops domestically. We took a 43.26% drop, and domestically we did take a drop. We took what did we take? 53% drop. That's what we took. But it looks like it looks like America alone grossed 43.2%. That's what I was trying to say. 43.2% of its total so far. Its complete worldwide total is why do I always have to read these big numbers? Is $266,688,563, meaning out of its $185 million budget, we are like right there to making it back. So next week we will have made back our 185 mil budget. Beauty and the Beast opened up, and that took away a lot of steam from Kong Skull Island. It got $170 million its opening week. It already nearly passed Kong Skull Island. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? Wait, did we already... Yeah, we already passed our budget for Kong Skull Island. We already made more than that, didn't we? Didn't I just say that? Worldwide. Yeah, worldwide we already made back our budget for Kong Skull Island. We're doing good. We are in good shape. Beauty and the Beast, though, made more money in America its opening week than Kong Skull Island did. We expected that. It's a Disney movie. You can't really fight Disney movies. They are a force to be reckoned with. But it is kind of sad that movie's doing so much better, because personally, obviously, I was rooting for Kong to do better. And now a lot of people get to use the headline Beauty Killed the Beast, throwback to 33. But it didn't really, though, because Kong Skull Island is still doing really well. It took less of a drop than Godzilla from 2014 did. It also took, it looks like, a little bit more of took a little bit less of a drop than Godzilla from 98. And it also took a little bit less of a drop than King Kong from 2005. So overall, the movie's doing pretty well. if it's taken, if the percentage drop from opening weekend to now is less than it was for all those other movies, all these other previous kaiju movies, I would say the movie's in good shape. We've already made back our budget. Hopefully, we just keep going and keep going and keep going. Eventually, we're gonna hit a point where this movie's gonna make a lot of money when it hits China. That's what we're waiting on. When it hits China, it's gonna make a lot of money because obviously, and I don't know, is the movie already out in China? Let me look it up. Is Kong Skull Island out in China? I don't think it is. Theatrical release date, Variety.com, Kong Skull Island, China. What's it say? Maybe it is already out. I don't know. Kong Skull Island is set to release. No, it's not. It comes out in 2 days, so that's what we're waiting on, guys. That is what we're waiting on. China is gonna bring in a lot of money for Kong Skull Island, which is what we need. We need this movie to keep doing as good as it can, because we have a Chinese company working for, that helped produce the movie. We also have a Chinese actress in the movie, so if the movie keeps doing really well, obviously Beauty and the Beast is going to dominate it, but if the movie keeps doing really well, at least it'll put up a good fight. It's going to be a blockbuster. Hopefully, it'll go down in history as one of the better, maybe one of the earlier. What is this? One of the earlier March blockbusters? Is that what we can say it is? Man, are there a lot of March blockbusters? I can't think off the top of my head of any. So maybe we can say this is like one of the best March blockbusters of the whenever. Obviously, Beauty and the Beast breaking records, guys. That movie is gonna win, which is sad. I wish it didn't, but that's just the way it is. Kaiju Noir looks like he tells us that Kong comes out in Japan tomorrow, so he hasn't seen it yet. Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's a great movie. Spoilers for the after credit scene in the thumbnail. I'm sorry. I'm sure you already knew by now. You could not have. I mean, there's no way you could have not known, because it's all over the internet. It was all over the internet before the movie came out in America, which is disappointing. I got to see it, like I said, I got to see it, the premiere, 10 days before it came out in America. Alright, so, Kong Skull Island doing really well. That's good news for us. Let's get into the alternate ending for Kong Skull Island, and as well as the midquel. So, Kong Skull Island, quote unquote, 2. You already reviewed it. That's what I meant. Yeah, you definitely didn't watch it legally. Man, you should have. It's a great movie in the theaters. You're gonna see it legally. I know you will. I forgot that you reviewed it. I intentionally didn't watch your review yet. Okay, also, I'm gonna plug that here now. Why not, right? Even though he seems to have forgotten it, even though we talked about it not that long ago, me and Kaiju Noir, just like we did for Shin Godzilla, are going to do another review for Kong Skull Island. And I've already done some reviews for Kong Skull Island before. I did a spoiler-free and a spoiler review. But this time, after seeing the movie, when we do our review, I will have seen it at least 4 times. After seeing it that many times, and probably after he sees it in theaters, I think we're going to have some more things to talk about. You didn't see my review. How dare you? I already told you I did, man. I'm not going to watch it until we do our video. Because here's the thing, is if I watch his videos, then I'm going to know his thoughts on the movie already, and I don't want to know his thoughts on the movie until we do our review together. But here's what I'm trying to say is, every time I see the movie, despite me loving it, I always pick up on different things. This didn't work right. This feels wrong. This just, could have been cut out. And a lot of people are, like, tearing this movie apart, being like, it sucks, this movie's just terrible. Those people are what we, in modern terms, call retarded. And there's no way around it. For anyone who's PC around here, you're not on the right channel. You never have been. I've never been politically correct. But, yeah, there are certain things in the movie that don't work. And now, I guess, here's the best place to get into it. This is why, is because it is a 3-hour movie cut down to a 2-hour movie. That is legitimately what it is. It has been announced that there's 90 minutes of Kong Skull Island that are not in the theatrical cut. we basically have Peter Jackson's King Kong again, although it's cut in a less good way. God, I don't know how to word that. It's cut differently, and it's cut in a way that doesn't make it as good as Peter Jackson's Kong. Because Peter Jackson's Kong, the theatrical cut, really good. Stands on its own, is amazing. Peter Jackson's extended cut, that thing is a masterpiece. Now, this movie, hopefully it goes down the same way. So, this movie, Kong Skull Island theatrical cut, shorter, alright, it is... it's a good movie, but there should be more. My brother hates kaiju movies. Absolutely hates them. He walked out of this movie saying, I don't understand. First of all, he said, I don't understand why anyone wouldn't like Kong Skull Island. He also said, I would go see an extended cut of this movie just for the sake of seeing more of this movie, which is incredible. It blew my mind that he liked this movie. He hates kaiju. He hates them. And then he walked out of this movie loving it. So, it's a good movie, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, you're doing yourself a disservice. Now, hopefully, they will do the same thing that they've been doing with Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, King Kong 2005. They will release an extended version. Hopefully, they don't call it the Ultimate Edition. They will release the extended cut on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K when it comes out, because that is what I want to see. I want to see the full movie. The novelization of this movie also has been announced to be longer, more extended than the theatrical cut, including more monsters that weren't in the theatrical cut. Another thing we talked about leading up to the movie is, why is there so much concept art of monsters that aren't in the movie? What's going on with that? That is because apparently they maybe are in the movie, and we just have not seen them yet because we did not see the full movie. You can tell when you watch the movie, though. There are shots in the movie when you watch it and you go, there was something missing here. For instance, the biggest one that stands out to me is after Weaver deals with the Skullcrawler, after she blows him up, you have all the characters laying on the ground in the boneyard, and they are all covered in dirt. Cut to immediately. There is nothing after that. You just straight cut to them standing in the boneyard all looking at each other. Followed, there's like a split second of that, followed with all of a sudden we're in the bamboo forest looking for Jack Chapman again. It doesn't make sense. It feels very choppily edited. It feels like a 3-hour movie cut down to 2 hours just for the sake of being mainstream. Exactly what it is. I would have seen a 3-hour version in theaters. I still will. If they're like, you know what? Why not re-release it, 3-hour version? I'm going to go see it as many times as I can, just like I did with this version. It'll take me, it'll be a lot harder because it's 3 hours compared to 2, but it's a full hour of my life I lose every time I go see it compared to every time I see this one when I still have that hour and I just lose the 2 hours. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is anything that I had a problem with other than one shot of the CG looking really spot, two scenes of the CG looking really spotty. Other than that, the only complaints I have with this movie come from the fact that it is 3 hours cut down to 2 hours. And that is something that I hope when I see it again, I can pick out all the different instances of it so I can go more in depth with it whenever I can. Okay, getting into the Kong opening sequence, ending sequence, and midquel. So, a lot of people, if you're like, what's a midquel? We'll get there. So, here's the original opening sequence for Kong Skull Island. There was going to be World War II, set in World War II, one platoon of American soldiers running at the other platoon of, I think they said, like, Japanese soldiers. This was from an interview with Jordan Vogt Roberts, the director of Kong Skull Island. They're going to be in a battle, World War II, on a beach, in a battle. All of a sudden, he doesn't necessarily say it flat out, but he kind of says King Kong from the 2005 version is going to walk out of the jungle, look at everyone, they're going to gun it down, kill it right there where it stands, it's going to fall over dead, and you're supposed to sit there and be like, wait, did they just kill King Kong? Followed with the Kong from the movie Skull Island walking out, seeing what just happened, and wiping out both sides of the army, just killing them all. Crazy intro. I like the one they chose better. I don't think it's respectful to kill off the previous Kong like that. I know Kong dies in the movie King Kong. Here's the thing. That's a very emotional sequence. If you're just having Kong walk out and then get shot up and die right there. If you're having like, it's basically saying, haha, my Kong's better than yours. I'm glad they didn't do that. That is, that I don't like that. I'm glad they picked the one that they went with, because it feels disrespectful to what came before it. Obviously, Vogue Roberts didn't mean anything. If you've seen him on Instagram, he is in love with King Kong. He and Twitter and everything he's on, he is in love with King Kong. He is so in love with Skull Island. That is all he talks about. He is just, that is one of my favorite things, is the fact that the director of this movie just seems like one of the best guys you could have ever picked to direct this movie. He seems like a great guy. He has a genuine, full-out love for this movie, and I think it's awesome. So, he also talks about the ending of the movie. This would have been really crazy, and it would have made sense. I don't know why they didn't do it. So, you would have had Brooks, Sam, is her name Sam or San? It's one of the two. You have Brooks, Sam, Conrad, and Weaver on a ship in the northern, like the northern area of the world. I think he says like they're near. Where are they? Are they near Antarctica, which is in the south? But are they in Antarctica or are they up north? I don't know. The point is, they are sailing on this ship, huge iceberg. In the iceberg, or something like this. It was one. I'm not going to get this situation completely correct because it's been a while since I read this article. But the point is that outside of this iceberg, or near this iceberg, swims away Godzilla, and they're going to see Godzilla swim away. I think that would have been incredible. Here's why: the 2014 concept art teased the fact that the original way we were going to see Godzilla was going to be like, we were, if I remember correctly, they were going to find a Godzilla frozen, completely frozen in ice, and they were just going to see him there, and it was going to be like, Monarch was going to be like, oh, look at that, like, but I think that would have been a great reference to the original concept art for Godzilla 2014, the original concept for the movie being them in Skull Island, these Monarch people in Skull Island, finding Godzilla up in an iceberg or swimming near an iceberg. Man, that would have been awesome. And then, plus, you would have had Godzilla on screen. You wouldn't have had just the painting. You would have had him on screen doing stuff. Would have been absolutely insane. I would have lost it. I like the ending we got. I think that one would have been better because you would have seen Godzilla. I still think the ending we got is really epic. So, alright, Kong Skull Island 2. This is something that is not confirmed, but Vogue Roberts has said he wants to do. He wants to tell the story, he calls it the midquel, of what happens to Hank Marlowe and Gunpei in between the opening scene of Skull Island when we have Kong come up over the hill looking at them. From there, all the way up to when we find Marlowe again. Well, he doesn't necessarily say he goes from there to this point, but we can presume that this is where the movie would end. When Marlowe finds Conrad and everyone else on Skull Island. Man, that would be a great movie. One of the most interesting dynamics of Skull Island is not explored at all. That is Gunpei and Marlowe's, their relationship. There's so much you can do with just this tension between them. They just are in the middle of a world war. They are against each other, enemies by the country, and then they will eventually grow into this brotherly relationship. You could take it all the way up till when Marlowe has to watch his best friend, is the only person he can talk to, die when Gunpei gets killed by a skullcrawler. God, that would be so dang cool. You could also see the death of Kong's parents, because one thing that is not confirmed but has to be the way it is for anything to make sense, the Kong at the beginning of Kong Skull Island, no two ways around it, it has to be a different Kong than the one in the movie. It's just too big. It's too big. He is full grown in that scene. It doesn't make sense if Kong's still growing from 1973 till 2020, I'm sorry. If Kong's going to still be growing from 1973 to 2019 or 2020, why wouldn't he still be growing from 1940 whenever all the way to 1973? It doesn't make any sense. If that's Kong's parent, one of Kong's parents that winds up getting killed by a skullcrawler, great. I love it. If not, just an error that no one thought of when making the movie, and it sticks out like a sore thumb if you overanalyze things like I do. So, there you go. Midcool that has not been confirmed or anything like that. It probably will happen considering the success of Kong Skull Island. And just overall, the general feedback the movie's getting is positive. So it might happen where we get the midquel. That'd be a great movie. I think that'd be awesome. I really hope they go with that. Godzilla vs Kong. Let's talk a little bit about this. How is Kong gonna fight Godzilla, given the fact that he's not fireproof? That's the only thing I want to talk about. We already know he's gonna grow really big. Clearly, we don't think Godzilla's gonna be growing much more at all. Kong's gonna be hopefully 200 feet to 300 feet, somewhere in that range. He probably shouldn't be 300 feet, but somewhere in that range he should be. Probably like the size of, probably like a little less than the size of the female Muto, maybe, or a little, or maybe the same size as the female Muto. I don't know. Anyways, Godzilla should, or Kong in that movie, given the fact that he's not fireproof, dang, he is going to get annihilated by that atomic breath. The atomic breath's not even that strong. It's just the fact that the fire in this movie made him pass out. How did that happen? I felt like leading up to the movie, I talked big game, talking about how Kong is fireproof, has to be that way. Just not true. He gets knocked out. He is put down by that fire right away. So, I don't know. It's going to hurt him, guys. The fight should... I think the fight would be really interesting because Kong from Skull Island, incredibly smart. He is... to go back to the 1962 quote, Kong is a thinking animal. All right? He took on Godzilla. In 62, Kong beat Godzilla. But Kong in Skull Island, he took on a skull crawler. He used all sorts of different methods to fight it. He dropped a rock on its head from the sky. There's that one that he rips his jaw open and then he slams he stomps his head into the ground. There is... He used that tree. He rips off all the branches, uses it as a bat to beat the skullcrawler's head. He used that anchor to lodge itself into the side of the skullcrawler, cut him open, uppercut him, slit his jaw open. He even freaking tears his guts out. All right, this Kong is so smart. Seeing Kong's strategy versus Godzilla's brute strength is gonna be one of the most interesting fights that will happen. And of course, we'll speculate about this for the next, what is this, like 5 years or however many, it's not 5 years, but 3 years we're going to be speculating about this. We got some time. I don't have to get into my full, here's what my plot idea will be like I just did with Godzilla King of the Monsters, but I think the fight will be really interesting. I think one of the best ways to end the fight or have a great moment in the fight is to have Kong breaking Godzilla's jaw. He's tearing it open, 33 style. Godzilla loads up, breathes the atomic breath, sends Kong flying. Like, maybe Kong's, like, tearing open his jaw. Godzilla shoots it off. It nails him in the face. Kong's, like, gets his face all scarred up and ripped up and set on fire. He goes flying. He gets up afterward. He's all mad. That'd be an incredible moment. How cool would it be if Kong breaks Godzilla's jaw before Godzilla can fire the atomic breath, and then Godzilla does, and then you just have, like, a really damaged Godzilla. His jaw's, like, ripped up, and then Kong's there. He's all burnt up. That'd be so dang cool. The only thing that I don't want to happen in Godzilla vs. Kong, the only two things that I don't want to happen in Godzilla vs. Kong is for A, King Kong to die, and B, them to have to team up in that movie against a bigger threat. And I know some people are going to be like, dude, what is this? Why is Kong not allowed to die, but Godzilla is allowed to die? Godzilla in the Legendary Universe isn't that special. Alright, it's already established that there's been multiple Godzillas leading up to this point, so presumably, if Godzilla dies, another one can take his place. Kong, on the other hand, he's special. He is. He is the last of his kind, guaranteed, confirmed. Also, the fact that he's just super intelligent. He has a lot of character to him. That Godzilla 2014 has some character to him, not as much as Kong. I think you can get away with killing Godzilla just as long as you have the son of Godzilla or some other Godzilla that we already have established take his place. Even in Godzilla King of the Monsters, if King Ghidorah is, no matter how many monsters are teaming up against him, I shouldn't say that because what I'm about to say just goes against that, but if King Ghidorah is beating Rodan, Mothra, and Godzilla, and then another Godzilla shows up, and it's the two Godzillas fighting together that take down Ghidorah, you could do that, set up the second Godzilla in that movie. That way when Godzilla from 2014 dies in Godzilla vs Kong. You could have the one that we already have established from King of the Monsters show up, take his place as King of the Monsters, beat Kong, not kill him. Kong needs to wait around a while because you have a lot of potential after this movie. A lot of people have been like, you could do a Mothra solo movie. I'm for that. You could do a Rodan solo movie. I'm for that. You could do a Ghidorah solo movie. I'm for that. All right. I'm for all three of those. More King Kong movies. I'm for that. More Godzilla movies. I am for that. I am not for like Louis Duran's Godzilla the Giant Lizard, the Zilla style, or like Gamera, or like all these crazy ones. No, I'm not good with that. I'm fine with if you have. Here's how I want it to go. Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla 3, Kong Skull Island 2, or actually, you would have Godzilla vs. Kong, Kong Skull Island 2, which would be the midquel. Then you would have, whatever the title of that would be. Then you would have Kong King of Skull Island, like that old book. Then you would have, you would have Godzilla 3, somewhere in between all this, you would have Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah solo movies. You don't even need all those. I think if you're going to do a Godzilla 3 and a Kong 2, you don't need the solo movies for the other guys. But if you don't follow up with Godzilla 3, you could do a Mothra solo movie instead. Just have Godzilla cameo in it. And at that point, I don't think you need a Rodan movie either. I don't know. I think this universe should be limited to how many movies we get. I'm personally thinking like, I don't know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm fine with 6, all right? I think beyond 6, you're kind of like pushing the territory here. But I think the perfect way to end this franchise, this Monsterverse, not the franchise, because obviously Godzilla's not going anywhere, Kong's not going anywhere. The perfect way to end the Monsterverse is destroy all monsters. Someone put forth the idea, I don't remember where I saw it first, probably Instagram I saw it first. Someone put forth the idea that what if you have the final movie in the franchise be Godzilla and Kong versus tons of different monsters. I love that idea. I'm so for that idea. There is no two Godzillas in the Monsterverse. Yeah, people are. People don't like that idea. I am so for the idea that after Godzilla vs. Kong, you have the two of them team up and fight other monsters. Don't split it into two parts. That is going to ruin... That already was going to ruin Justice League. Glad that they changed that, because that movie's going to do bad on its own. DC movies are not doing good. But what I'm trying to say here is, destroy all monsters, final movie in the franchise. You bring back maybe other species of the Mutos, maybe other Skullcrawlers coming up, Maybe if you guys have ever read Godzilla Rulers of Earth, like the Trilopod that shows up and it can just like take other monsters' powers, and it is just this incredibly powerful thing. Point is, you have Godzilla and Kong team up against this much larger threat than they expected. Multiple other threats, more than they could have ever fought on their own. They have to team up, and they wind up fighting them to the death. Godzilla and Kong should come out victorious. It should be like a T-Rex Velociraptor situation from Jurassic World, where like the last scene in the movie, they like look at each other, shake heads or whatever. They're like, yeah, we've been through some stuff together, and then they go their separate ways. That would be such a good movie. I don't know who they would fight. We'll talk about that more in the next few years. King Ghidorahs. I don't care who they fight. They gotta fight someone together. After Godzilla vs. Kong, I am for that idea. I think that'd be an incredible movie. Now, this guy's going to get himself timed out. If you type no one more time, sir, Dylan Thompson, I'm going to time you out like a child. Okay, so there it is. There's my ideas for the Monsterverse. Pacific Rim 2, Pacific Rim Uprising. Let me see what we can talk about here. There's not a ton to talk about, actually, because there's not tons of news for the movie that, even though I haven't covered any news for the movie in a long while, there's still not tons of news for this movie yet. I know he always sends me news for Pacific Rim Uprising. What do we got? Oh, nah, I'm not going to cover Pacific Rim 2 here, actually. I'm going to do a news update for it, okay? There will be a future news update for No, you guys type in no. I'm gonna time you out because you're children, and that's how you treat children. You put them in timeout when they do something wrong. It's all right. Daryl, Dylan. Why am I having so much trouble pronouncing your name? You might be wondering that. It's because the chat is moving so quickly I cannot read. I think your name is Dylan. All right. Pacific Rim Uprising gonna be its own news update video. Because there's just like I'll have to be referring to specific visuals for that, and I don't really want to take the time to get the visuals loaded up on screen here. So there'll be another news update for that on its own. Now, we've been live streaming here for about 2 hours. I kind of want to call it a wrap on this. TWD, yeah, I love Walking Dead. It's awesome. I want to call it a wrap on this live stream, so let's end off here. Let's end it at 2 hours. The last, I'll do for like 10 more minutes, and then I'll give you guys your time in chat like I usually do on these live streams. By the way, that dude at the start, man, he's an incredible piano player. He's not me. I played the second song that came on. I played Persecution of the Masses. You guys have seen that video probably from my piano, what's it called? Piano set 1. But God, dude, that first dude I played, he is like a god on the piano. I've been listening to him so much, play so many different songs. I'll eventually, you know how I do those like spotlight videos where I spotlight, and I don't do them often, but I spotlight some YouTubers that I really like. I'm gonna do some more over the summer for sure because I think it's cool if you have a bigger channel like mine spotlighting smaller channels. I think that might make sense. But what I'm trying to say is that guy's really good. I'll definitely do a spotlight for him in the future because even though he's got more subscribers than me and more views than me on that video than I typically pull, you guys should definitely check him out, and I'll make sure to do a spotlight for him when the time comes up. So let's get into these final little bit here. TWD and Godzilla crossover. Will you watch it? I'll watch it, but I won't like it. That's Godzilla in a zombie universe would work if you did it in like a crazy kind of like maybe the Godzilla anime kind of thing. I don't think that would work as a TV show. I definitely don't want Godzilla in The Walking Dead because The Walking Dead's awesome on its own. That's gonna ruin some stuff. So keep him out of there. What do we got here? Love your content, man. Thank you very much, Legendary Roars. I appreciate it. What's your name? Latino Calo? Yikes, I definitely pronounced that wrong, but thanks for the support, man. D-Man, do you like Evangelion? Have you seen the original series? I have not seen Neon Genesis Evangelion. I would love to. I would love to get into it, but I just have not had the time nor the money to get into it yet. And like I said, guys, hopefully over the summer I will. Alright, Superman destroys Goku. What are you guys talking about? I was mentioned. Yeah, you were. I'm not going to say your name. Let them fight. Okie dokie. Have you seen the MA Special Color Mothra? Wait, what are you talking about? SHMA. What do we got here? Special Color Mothras. Oh, dang, I definitely got to get my hands on these. I don't have a Mothra figure yet. Is this what they were teasing that whole time? No, they were teasing. Whoa. I definitely got a new news update on this. It's been a while since I've checked the SH Monsterverse website. I think after I spent nearly $300 last time I was here, I decided not to come back for a while. So what do we got? We got Destroy a Special Color version. I'm not going to get that. What do we got here? Super Mecha Godzilla. That's kind of cool because he has the Garuda, the attachment. That's pretty sweet, actually. I'm not going to get him. Maybe for Christmas. That'd be a sick Christmas present if anyone of my family happens to hear that. I'd love that. I already have Kamata-kun and Shinagawa-kun. They haven't come yet, but I've ordered them. Same thing with Godzilla Awakening version, SH Monster Arts. I haven't ordered him yet, but I have him lined up to be ordered real soon. Mothra Special Color version. Dang, this is cool. I gotta get my hands on this because it's only $100 actually for the two figures. That's a pretty good deal. And it looks like it comes with accessories. That's a good deal, actually, and a stand for her to fly on. I don't have a Mothra figure. I've always wanted one. I've just never had one. When it comes to the Godzilla store limited versions of Godzilla and of Shin Godzilla and Kamachi-kun, Shinagawa-kun, don't think I'm going to get my hands on these guys for the reason of if I own the originals and I own the special color version, which is called the Awakening version for Shin Godzilla, I don't really want to waste my money on these guys, even though, and I know, I've already said this many times, I really want to order the special editions, but I don't think the special editions of the movie that I want to order are going to be the same special editions that have these guys. Plus, I'm sure they're already sold out. It wouldn't make sense that they wouldn't be sold out, but yeah. I want to get my hands on the 4K. I don't really want to waste my money on these SH Monster Arts guys who don't look amazing. They don't, they don't have any detail on them. What am I supposed to do? What do we got for the monster counter? Has the monster counter changed at all? Have we added Kong to it at all? No, we haven't. That's a mistake, guys. They need to add Kong on there because he's part of the Godzilla universe now. Where is he? Monster Countdown. That's pretty sweet that they did that. They have the 62 Kong. God, if SH Monster Arts makes a 62 Kong, oh, I'd buy it so quickly. That'd be a dream come true. Minya. I don't know if I'd spend my money on SH Monster Arts Minya. I think I'm about done, guys. I've talked for a while. I've talked for an hour and 50 minutes. And then I've also been grinding away. So a lot of people don't know this. I love to play video games. I just don't do it a lot because, first of all, it doesn't benefit me in any way. Like, I'm not, and YouTube doesn't either. Well, that's not true. YouTube benefits me. YouTube's my job. That is what I get paid to do is advertise for these companies. But like, I don't get anything from playing video games. I don't get like exercise or anything like that that's gonna benefit me. So I don't really do it much. I talk too much. Thanks, man. I know, but I've been playing lots of video games lately, and I want to go back and do it again because I forgot how fun it was. And you have an Xbox One. That's really cool. And now that I'm on the topic, I want to get you guys' thoughts live on this idea. So when I hit 10K, obviously I'm going to put out my 5K special after I hit 10K because I'm super late on it as it is, so why would I just like set another date for it? Sometime in the far future, I'm going to set my date. In the far future, eventually, I will put out my 5K special, and you guys will all be like, what? This is your however many thousand subscriber you're on special now? I thought this was your 5K special. And I will just have changed the title, and no one will ever know, even though you guys already all know. So when I hit 10K, instead of setting like some crazy like stop motion video that I'm never going to be able to do, here's my idea is, do you guys want to play games with me? And that's kind of like a weird thing for me to ask, but when I hit 10K, I want to do something special. So it would be cool if, I have an Xbox One, I have 2 accounts, I'll just go with my public account, I'll keep my other account private, for obvious reasons of, you guys, I've seen it on Instagram, you guys tend to get a little bit crazy with how often you guys hit me up. So, I'm going to say I'm going to do it off my private account, which first of all will mean all my stats will be fresh. They will all be at 0 because I made that public account, is what I'm calling it now, specifically so that I could have a second backup profile on Fallout 4. So if I just use that as my way of playing with you guys, I'll suck at games. I'll be a level 0 on every game I play, but you know what? Why not? I still will be as experienced as I am currently. Games that I definitely want to play with you guys would be, I know this series gets a lot of crap lately, and I disagree with it. I would love to play Call of Duty with you guys, specifically Black Ops 3 is the one that I'm really into now. Xbox One, not PS4. Definitely not the Godzilla game on PS4, just because that's not at the house I'm at. I like the house that I'd be playing with you guys at, not the house that I have my PS4. So if we played Xbox One, the games that I'd love to play with you guys, I think I have Battlefield. I've never played it, but you know, a lot of people seem to love it. I'd love to play Black Ops 3 with you guys. Black Ops Zombies, especially. I love zombies. And multiplayer, of course. What other games did I have? GTA 5. Oh, that'd be so fun to get a full lobby of subscribers. Just play with all you guys and just mess around and stuff. Do races. Even though I suck at races, it'd still be fun. Um, I have a few games that we could play together, and I just want to get your guys' thoughts on this now. Yes or no? Do you like that idea for when I hit 10K as just a celebration, just to play with you guys whenever? And it's not like I'd be able to make videos off of it because I don't have a capture card yet, but I just want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Like, should we do it? I don't know. You don't have an Xbox One? Sorry. I play with you, but I'm on PS4. Yeah, that's the problem. I would play PS4, but don't have it over here. Yeah, some of you guys would, because you guys have Xbox Ones. Yeah, it seems like overall, other than that guy who's like, oh God, is dumb. You know, that's just the general perception nowadays that a lot of people don't like it. Um, I do. I still like some of it, but yeah, it seems like generally you guys want it. I'm good with that. D-Man, do you watch Goji Fan 1993? It lists what? At least you have. I have watched Goji Fan. Yeah, I made two goodbye videos for him. Of course, I've watched him, and then he's also talked to me about potentially a year after he resigned from his position on YouTube. Maybe me and him will collaborate, and I'll do an interview with him or whatever, and we'll catch up, and you guys can all know exactly what's going on with him and how he's doing, because he's already said he'll do videos with me, and I think that'd be a perfect way to bring him back. Um, Wait, do you have Xbox One? Yes, I have Xbox One. That's what we're talking about. I'll play Xbox One with you guys. I also have Steam, but I don't think I have any real good multiplayer games on Steam, so I don't know. I have Minecraft, but I don't like Minecraft. Why would I notice you, Goji Fan 02? Um, what? When did he leave YouTube? Goji Fan 93? He left a while ago. What's the use of feeling blue? Do you hate Zilla? I don't hate Zilla. I don't think I don't hate him. I think the character is great in the IDW comics, and I think the movie is not as bad as people pretend. No point in telling me you guys' names now. That's not to be rude or anything, but there's no point in telling me your Xbox name now. That's when I hit 10K. Um, that is when, like in a month maybe, that is when I will, you know, GTA would be really fun. Actually, I would have to start over, but it'd be really fun, just to do races and everything. All right, guys, I'm good. I'm done. Um, Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for all the support and everything else. 9,000 subscribers, really insane. Um, Talk to you guys later. D-Man, out. should I just do that old fake out thing that I used to do? Remember when I used to do these live streams and then I'd always fake them out, right? I'd always do the outro, play the music, and then I'd just start up with another Q&A out of nowhere. Should I do that again? Let's see. 48 people still watching. Jeez, when I used to do that whole long music thing, I would drop down to like 4. Now we have 48. I guess that's what happens when you have 9,000 subscribers. Thank you guys all for the support. I really do appreciate it. By the way, I was kidding. I'd never quit YouTube. I'd have to get deleted on all like 5 of my accounts by Toho and Legendary for me to quit. I've never seen this side of you. I'm just messing around. I'm not. I'm just messing around. Yeah. Do you play Crash Royale? I do not. I do not play Crash Royale. Yes, the chat is still cancer. That never stops. That's just my subscribers. That is just my subscribers. It's just the way you guys are. You can't help it. Most viewers we had at once was 121. 9,000 of you people and only 121 of you watch this? Ugh. You guys just really hurt me deeply. Do you like spoons? Who are you talking to, man? I'm not a spoon guy. I'm not a fork guy. I'm a spork guy. Get your stuff together. Actually, I am going to leave, though. So, thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. That's the real outro. Thank you for the support, guys. D-Man, out.